Oh, welcome back to another video. I have got something here, and it's how I'm gonna solve the problem with the motor problems I've been having. I have purchased a new outboard motor for the boat here, and this thing is hopefully going to be a lot more reliable than that two-stroke Johnson motor. So if you can look over here, this is a Honda. It's a 5 horsepower kicker motor here. So this is how I'm going to solve the problem with my motor. This thing is a 2012, and so it's only 13 years old. It's a 4-stroke, and I don't know if I think I told you this. It's a 5 horsepower. Can you see this right here? The letter number 5.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it's a 5 horsepower motor here, and this thing actually, I've done some tests on it. It really does good. Doesn't have issues starting, at least not as much compared to that other motor. So we got some things here, obviously, like the gear lever. You can see here we have of course, the throttle, and this is the kill switch, and it also this has a key that you have to place here in order for the motor to start. And you can kind of see that the motor is tilted a little bit. It's not perfectly straight, and that's because I actually have to tilt the motor because this is actually a long shaft. So the previous motor I had it was a short shaft motor, and when the transom was all the way up, none of the motor was in the water. But this is different. So when the transom is up, actually, like the fin down there and like some of the propeller is in fact under the water, and it's currently, you can see it's under the water now, but that's because I'm on the boat putting weight on it. But I don't want any part of this motor touching this water for a long period of time, because like stuff grows so quickly. Like, I don't want seaweed on my shit or anything. So that is why it's here. And we've got this tilt lever here, and that's how you tilt it. This thing is carbureted, so we have a choke here, and you choke her up before you start her cold. And I want to show you guys this. So the motor came with this gas tank here, and as you can see, I don't know if you can see this here, but yeah, it came with the gas tank. But what's cool is that this tank actually has a gauge here. So as you can see, we are just a little bit past halfway full in the tank, and this thing I filled all the way up, so it was all the way full. We did actually the next video you're gonna see was actually the first test of it, and you'll see I use that motor quite a bit. It didn't even use half the tank, and yeah, so this thing is very, very fuel efficient. With the 2-stroke, I filled the tank up. By the end of the day, there was maybe a quarter tank left, and all I did was go motor down the river, and then motor back up the river, and then it would use 3/4 of the tank. But this, I motored down the river, I motored into a marina, motored out of the marina, and then motored up the river, and it didn't even use half the tank. Very happy about that. That's something that I'm very excited about. The motor, I mean, this tank didn't come with this fuel line, so I had to buy this fuel line separately. I think it was kind of pricey, to be honest. I think I ended up paying like $60 or something for this fuel line, but I needed to find a fuel line that fit this Honda tank. So this is one of those that kind of like a pressure hose. You like clip it in, you like pull this down, and anyways, that's how it works. Of course, it's got its you know, balloon or whatever, and then the attachment there. So I want to start this up for you guys cold. So what I'm gonna do is get the motor into its operating position before I attach the gas line to the motor here. And this is the first time I'm actually doing this particular thing, because I've got to like adjust the pitch of this motor, and then I've got to put the motor down so the propeller is into the water here. So I think what I got to do is pull this up, I'm pretty sure. There we go. Pull it up, and as you can see, that's what it's like. You see how much of that is in the water? And let me get off the boat here. I want to get off the boat so you can see.
Oh my! Dude.
So that's what it would be like. You see how much of that motor's in the water right now? That is not good. Because, you know, it sits here, growth can grow on it. So kind of based on what I figured out with the test, I don't really want to put the transom all the way down, because actually the exhaust is almost touching the water, and I'll show you this right now. Show you how I do this here. So I don't think I've really gone into detail how my transom works here, so I'll show you this real quick. I've got this line here. You untie this, you get to this point, you actually have to raise the motor up, and then you lower it like this, and then you'll be able to start lowering this down, as you can see with the rope here. I'm gonna bring this all the way down, and you can see how low this motor gets into the water. See how low that is? I feel like I shouldn't have gotten a long shaft. There's the exhaust right there, and there's the water. It's too close, in my opinion. So what I do is actually just lower this only halfway, so you can see we're like perfectly level here. This I've found to be a good height. Basically, that's about the height that my previous motor was. So I'll go ahead and attach the fuel line here. Just like that. I will give the primer a couple squeezes here to inject the motor with some fuel. I will pull the choke here. I will put the key into the position, so the key will go into the stop here, like that. And then like during underway, I'll actually like wrap that around here just in case the key falls off. We'll see how many pulls we can do before this thing starts up. 3 pulls! 3 pulls!
Being dramatic.
Holy shit. She's alive, and she's cold, and she hasn't been ran in a week, and she's started up like right away. So you can see this is a damn good motor. So I'm gonna let this warm up a little bit here, and then once I let it warm up, we will actually be able to put in the choke. But she's cold right now. If I try to put in the choke, the motor will not stay on. It'll just shut right off. So we'll cut the video and come back in when the motor's warm. All right, now I'm gonna put the choke in, and what I'll do is kind of like throttle it slightly before I pull it in. There we go. So now she's in operating mode. So let me put her in forward here. Reverse. Man, I couldn't be happier about this motor right now. just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So actually, like, the thing I'm gonna start doing with this motor that I wasn't doing with my Johnson Seahorse, like when I get back to the marina, I'm gonna pull the fuel line like this, and then I'm gonna let this thing run out of gas. And that's really what I should have been doing with the previous motor, but I didn't do it. But what it does is it actually like empties all the fuel out of the motor, so then the fuel doesn't get dirty and like dirty up the inside. And it will, and also so it won't flood the motor either. So this actually will take about 5 to 10 minutes before this motor will run out of fuel and shut off. So you can kind of get an idea of how efficient this is fuel-wise. So yeah, we'll cut in about 5 minutes or so, and then the motor will be shut off and we can resume the video. It's still running, baby boy. Oh, but it's about to stop. There she goes. That took about 5 minutes, and yeah. So now I want to show you how I will actually put the motor in like storage mode or something. You can record, baby. What? Oh, shit. I almost got you, baby.
Go.
Okay. Holy shit. Okay. So like pretend that we're done for the day. We've came back to the marina and the motor is ready to be stored. The first thing I'll do is remove this key. I think what I want to do is keep the key hidden, so that way nobody can come and start my motor or anything. That's really nice actually to have the key like that. Then what I'll do is raise the motor. So if you can point it to here, we will untie the rope from this cleat and we will pull this until the motor is all the way up. Like so. And then we will tie this to this cleat here, and that's not going anywhere. Now what I need to do is tilt it 1 notch here. So I actually like had some difficulty figuring this out, but I ended up figuring it out. There's actually a little little thing here. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a latch here, and this is not controlling it. This is for like bringing the motor down. But in order to bring this up, you kind of have to pull this out, and then you can lift the motor up like this. Like so. So that's how you have to do it. So push this, was it down or? Let's see, how do I do this here? Yeah. And then it goes down, and then lift this, and then she goes out. Yeah. Anyways, I figured that out, so that's good. And the last thing I do, I still want to kind of figure out how I want to kind of lock the motor, but one thing I want to do with this motor is keep it locked and do that. So anyways, I've got this like this bike lock here that I have been using to wrap around this, and I'm gonna come up with a better solution for this to make it a little bit more secure. But I'm not too worried about this, to be honest, because the people here are really nice, and I don't think that they're like they have those kind of intentions or something. So, but it's just for a peace of mind. This is it's a Honda, so people like Hondas. So now she's secure. She is ready to be stored for however long between boating sessions. So you can see that this motor is a lot a lot easier and a lot less stressful, and a lot less to deal with in terms of frustrations and stuff. But yeah, that'll do it for this video. In the next video, you're gonna see us go on a camping trip, and this motor will be used during that video. You'll get to see how she's like running and stuff. So yeah, subscribe to the channel and stick around until that video comes out, which should be in about a week from now. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Yeah, we'll see you in the next one.